Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. And welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show that takes you through your format or formula of the defunct HCW Show podcast and the power of, you guessed it, 2. I am your host as always for these, Dan, DP, as we all hear nowadays, DpuizY, yeah. And I'm aware as well, don't be alarmed, I have changed. Okay, I don't have the hair or the beard. I'm still me. I'm still Dan DpuizY. And I was aware that I missed last week. Things happened, I guess, and just I couldn't get anyone around in time to do it, and things didn't fall the way they meant to fall. So I missed last week, which is the go home show for Stand and Deliver. But I couldn't miss Stand and Deliver itself. So what we've got here is Stand and Deliver and the following NXT TV episode. Also in the same video. But I am not here alone for that. I am joined by someone who is the last person you would think would volunteer to do NXT, because he is very much not an NXT person. I am joined by the one, the only, Muzza. Muzza,
He's
how are you?
back again. I am alright. No, it seems to be during WrestleMania weekend. It's clear you lost a hair versus hair match. That really explains the lack of hair.
You know, come next week, I'll wear one of those like those wrestling headgears to sort of cover it up and
Yeah, you did the Kurt Angle gimmick. Yeah,
that put the wig there as well in the headgear to hold it in place. And
yes. As for why did I agree to this? Mainly because I had already watched Stand and Deliver with the mates, as we watched it as a bit of a pre-show to WrestleMania when we watched it live. And then, well, a surprise happened on the NXT that made me decide, yeah, I'm going to be on here. What kind of surprise is it? Have to wait and see.
Indeed. But no, we've seen a lot of things happen this weekend, not just WWE, across the board on the independent scene as well. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about NXT. We're here to talk about not WrestleMania, not the Raw, not SmackDown, NXT. And this is for NXT Stand and Deliver 225 on the 19th of April in a T-Mobile arena. T-Mobile, not T-Mobile. T-Mobile arena in Paradise, Nevada. There is nothing that happens beforehand. Just the usual, pomp, circumstance. The Warriors go to Vegas and they gamble their money away. And they lose their money. And then they go home with no money. And then that's...
Accurate description of Vegas.
Shout out Vegas.
Yeah.
No.
We're sick of you now. Go away.
Things looking off though with the first match of the night, which is for the men's NXT North American Championship. We have challenger, my guy, Ethan Page, taking on your boy, Ricky Saints. So
I mean, I suppose he's my boy. He's not really, but I do like Ricky Saints.
Yeah, that's why I sort of thought your boy, because he's not my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the winner of the match would, of course, be Ricky Saints, who wins and retains with the Rochambeau, which I'm surprised that they're still keeping that name for his finisher. In all honesty.
Yeah, they changed everything else. They just haven't changed the name of the finisher.
Yeah, and I just thought it's a very, previous company thing, that name, rather than...
Maybe they could do something like Owen Wilson and just go to Whoa Shambo.
Oh, wow. The Wow Shambo.
Wow. But yes, no. I thought this was a good choice to open the show. You've got Ricky Saints, who's he's no longer really the hot new arrival, but he's your more freshly minted champion. making his... This is his first defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, first defense against, a former NXT champion in Ethan Page. This... Yeah, I just thought overall just a very good opening match. And, in a way, this is definitely it was still a bit of a showcase for Ricky Saints. He's now a champion, but I thought Ethan Page was a very good choice for an opponent for this kind of match.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think Ricky Saints as well took us all by surprise. Like that time when he beat Shawn Spears for the title, because Shawn Spears has been champion for like a week or two or something like that. So it's very strange that Shawn just lost it like that. But as I said, this is Ricky's first defense. I rate the match 3 3/4 stars. I thought, like you, great opener, good match to just kick things off with. Two guys who have great chemistry in ring as well, which to me is surprising, but given that Ethan's chemistry with other people he's faced in NXT hasn't been all there. But maybe because he's got more history with Ricky here than he has with, say, a Trick Williams or a Joe Hendry or anything like that. Either way, great way to open the show and get the crowd hyped for what was to come.
It's sort of like the two have had a collision before.
Maybe
they've been on a bit of a rampage.
You could say that, and maybe, just maybe, the match was Dynamite.
Yeah.
You never know.
But at least it wasn't in the dark.
I ain't got any puns.
No, we can't make a battle about weapons. Moving on.
So, as we know with Stand and Deliver as well, PLEs and NXT, there isn't really much filler. So with that in mind, we go straight to the next match, which is for the Men's NXT Tag Team Championships. We have the challengers, Hank and Tank, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, Honk Honk. Taking on the champions, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Fraxium. Now, going into the match, of course, Hank and Tank have not been able to find themselves. They've been getting advice from all kinds of legends and other tag teams. Like they've had advice from the Motor City Machine Guns. They've had advice from, pardon me, sorry, my throat's really giving up on me. Pretty Deadly as well, which is really fun, in honesty, because they did have these like stupidly like crop tops that covers that top bit of the chest, and that's it. So you got Tank and Hank wearing them. But they do the whole like that as well in the ring, like with the that was really fun. But it turns out that the device they needed most was just to be themselves, which is advice that they got from the Street Profits. So with that in mind, would they pick up the win here and defeat the almost indestructible Fraxium, who have literally won matches being one guy down, and it's essentially a handicap match? The answer would be yes. Hank and Tank win clean and become the new Men's NXT Tag Team Champions following a power slam and headbutt combination to Nathan Frazier. I rated it 4 stars. Tag teams always turn it up a notch for PLEs. It's insane how they do it. Hank and Tank pulling off, frankly, a huge upset here as well was exactly what was needed. Because, in all honesty, it was probably a write-off on paper for anyone who was looking at it, thinking, oh, easy defensive action. Both teams, though, turn up in huge ways here. And while the crowd did take a bit of time to actually get invested in this, when they got there, they were there. They were locked in. The crowd reactions, the separate moments where it was 2v1, and it made it seem like Hank and Tank were destined to lose, they turned it back in their favour in what can only be described as a miracle moment. I assume, though, as well, that this means that Fraxium are on their way to the main roster. Or maybe we get that heel turn that everyone kept talking about. Either way, we'll find out one way or another. Muzza, what were your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, definitely a surprise result to be said. As I say, I still don't know that much about Hank and Tank. I've seen them every now and again, but it's clear they do have, at least when I've seen them in full set, they do seem to have a bit of a strong connection, and obviously Fraxium. What can be what can be said that we've already not said? Arguably, WWE's best tag team that they have. At least maybe until the Lucha Brothers maybe finally team up, but for now, Fraxium are just there. They're really good, but I think it was time for them to drop the belts. But I'm pretty sure they have beat. If they won this, they'll have beaten everyone. I don't think there's another team on the roster that they could have faced that wasn't new. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. The main roster tag division. Well, SmackDown side I know is a bit more in depth, but the Raw tag division a bit lacking.
Yeah.
I think they would be much needed on that side. And Nathan Frazier, as we all know, a protege of Seth Rollins, who now seems to be, along with Paul Heyman, making a bit of a dangerous alliance. Maybe there's something that could be there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So following on from that though, remember I said there's no filler on these shows. Well, now it's time to throw some filler because we go backstage with Penn Jillette, who's best known from Penn and Teller, the famous magical duo act. Penn is here with Sarah Schreiber. He's promoting his Vegas magic show, and he says that people sometimes don't believe in magic or don't believe how it's done. Of course, Q, Letters King, who comes along and he basically criticizes the magic, criticizes Penn, and Penn advises Lexus to put his Heritage Cup trophy in a cage or cabinet thing. Lexus agrees because he's like, it's not real, I know what you're doing. Puts it on the podium in the cage thing, and then Penn puts a cover over it and the trophy, and after about 30 seconds you hear a thud, don't know what that was, and suddenly the veil drops, revealing Teller in a bright orange Yeet t-shirt, and he's literally yeeting. But the question is, where's the trophy? Where did it go? And that's
Maybe the Teller was the trophy all along.
maybe. After this, though, we go into the third match of the night. It is for the Women's NXT North American Championship, and it is a 6-person ladder match. We have Thea Hale, Lola Vice, Izzy Dame, Kalani Jordan, and Zaruka, which is Zarya and Solruka, who are put together because they literally entered the match together.
Yeah, the
So, in this match, actually, no. I'll ask you first before I reveal the answer. Who did you think was going to win go into it?
I looked at the list of the competitors. You've got, obviously Kalani was previously the North American champion at one point. You've got some people who are red hot, Zari and Sotluka. You got Lola Vice, who I know you like. You got Thea Hale, who this is her first time appearing in Donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Izzy Dane. But yeah, I thought I think it was destined probably to come down between the two friends of Zari and Solworker. And I thought it was going to be Solworker, personally.
Fair enough. I personally ruled out Thea because she's just come back. I ruled out Kalani because she's literally won a match like this before. Like, she literally was the first champion and won it in the exact same way that is here. A vacant title and another match. I also ruled out Zaruka because I just there's more going on with them for tag team stuff that they wouldn't give one a singles title. So for me, it was between Izzy and Lola, and naturally I went Lola. just because she's never held a title, so give her a title. But the answer would come in the form of Zaruka, who wins and becomes the new Women's NXT North American Champion, being a dual champion as well with her WWE Speed Championship.
I didn't even know she was that champion. That tells you how much I want. Tells you how much I want speed.
Yeah, no, she literally
to be
won
fair,
the title.
it's not. Yeah, like to be fair, they don't really acknowledge speed titles.
No, they don't. But she is a double champion,
yeah.
And there's no denying that for her. Yeah, you know what? You went first in the first match, so you kick things off. What do you think of this match?
I thought it was overall a good match. It's it's just stereotypical multi-person ladder match. You've got spots happening all over the place. But it was all, everyone got their moment in, and as there's a couple of women here that I do know that I've seen a lot more recently. Soulbooker's growing on me. I love the Soul Snatcher. I will say I love that finish. So yeah, this was very enjoyable. I did like the moment where Soulbook and Sai are the only two on the ladder, and it's clear that at this point the friendship must end at some point. But at least it wasn't stereotypical, oh, they turn on each other. It's just, no, we're just going to batter the hell out of each other. Whoever wins, wins. Yeah, just thought, very good ladder.
Yeah, fair. Absolutely fair. So I am slightly different from you on this match. I rated it 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed this. As I said already, going into it, I ruled out certain people, and I was completely off the bat with my prediction on this match. I just felt Lola was more likely than Izzy, and the other two was between. But Soul defied literally all the odds to pick up the title, and now she's dual champion. It was a fantastic ladder match, and no bias, but ladder match is my favorite match in WWE, besides the Royal Rumble. So, for me, that's like a 3.5 boost to absolutely everyone here, did this invitation a huge credit as well. NXT do PLEs very well, and they do ladder matches really well too. I can't think of a bad ladder match in NXT. And now, we'll get to see the dynamic of Soul being double champion, while Zarya holds literally nothing, and see if their friendship or team can continue to stand strong. Yeah, overall, just a really fucking good ladder match. After this, we go backstage with Chemical X. I don't know if they're called that nowadays. They were called that at one point, and now they're not called that anymore. So I don't know if that's a name or not. Anyway, that is Tatum Paxley, Gigi Dolan, and Shotzi. So we get a recap of the pre-show, which shows that Tatum and Gigi pinned Jessie Jane to win the women's tag title match on the following episode of NXT. They won the four-way tag team match. They beat Fatal Influence, which was Jessie Jane and Fallon Henley. They beat Metaphor, which was Les Legend and Jakara Jackson, and also beat the tag team of Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. It's mad to me that Roxanne Perez is not on the main card, but it is what it is. They say that they're ready for whoever the chance may be, whether it's Liv and Raquel or Bayley and her dove, as Tatum would say, Lyra. Of course, things didn't work out either way. at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because I wasn't even going to be Bailey and Lyra.
Yeah. Whoa. After this, we get a vignette of the D'Angelo family. We get a Godfather-esque recap of Tony D'Angelo and the family leading up to now. And I mean, it's done almost on par with the Godfather films. It focuses on Tony's love for the family and what each member of the family adds to the group and why they're so important. Going into this match, I don't know if that is a good sign or not of what's to come, given that Tony has had issues lately. So match 4 is a 6-person tag team match. I initially thought it was 8-person. We had the family, Tony D'Angelo, Stax, Shannon Lorenzo, and Luca Crucifino, along with Adriana Rizzo, taking on a team of Dark State, which is Saquon Sugars, Osiris Griffin, and Dion Lennox, who are accompanied by Cutler James. Now, this match had a lot of potential. There's a lot of combustible elements here that are going to collide in what was going to be a chaotic match where everything's all over the place. And who benefits most from all over the place chaos? Dark State. And of course, they win with their assisted throw-in powerbomb. They removed the top rope leap aspect of it from Saquon, which they did last time, because it's probably a bit too unsafe to do that regularly. I rated it 3.5 stars. It's probably the weakest match of the night for me, but that's not a bad thing because it focused more on story. The story of the night here was Stax, and could he be trusted to do the right thing? The answer would be no, or yes, depending on who you asked. Stax finally turned on Tony D during this show, and it came after weeks of tension of would he actually do it, and he did do it. So now we're looking at a world of Stax either building his own family, or bringing in Rizzo and Luca to make them his family. And it should be an interesting story going forward on NXT. Meanwhile, Dark State continue to prove to be what I said they were a couple of weeks ago. Retribution, but done correctly. They're good, and they're only going to get better. These kinds of chaos matches help groups like Dark State stand out more. And NXT, again, I'll keep saying it, NXT PLEs do it really well. So even though this is the weak match of the night, it's still 3.5 stars for me. Like, it's not a bad match. It's still really good. It's just not as strong as their matches. But I'll throw it to Muzza. See what Muzza, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, after, I did have a bit of worry on the placement, this coming straight after a chaotic ladder match. You're thinking, right, how's this going to work? Because this match was also chaotic, but I think it was chaotic in a similarly, not in a similar sense, but there was more uniqueness to this. Obviously, this is my first proper time getting a good look at Dark State, as I'm in and out of NXT, and all I've really seen them is just them battering people off screen. But now I get to see what they're capable of, and I do like what I'm seeing here. I think they are, as you say, Retribution done right. I say it's a mixture, or it is essentially, I think, a mixture of Retribution and Shield. There is a bit of that Shield element.
Yeah.
Element you've got, and I think the one who sticks out the most to me is maybe Osiris Griffin. That's just because he's a big guy.
Yeah. He does say that a lot.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But
yeah, the turn. As for the turn, it's, as you say, obviously, if you've been watching weekly, it's been 10. He's locked. I obviously I didn't know it was coming, but when there was clear there was descent, it did show in the match there was descent, and I'm like, okay, I can see where this might go, and it did in fact go that way. But yeah, Dark State looked like they're now the big bad faction of NXT. Even though I think there's a lot of well, not a lot of staples, but you've got the family, you've got the culling, you've got all of these guys, but how Dark State are front and center, the biggest threat right now in NXT for anyone really.
Yeah, absolutely. And on your point about Osiris Griffin being a standout, I would also throw in Saquon Sugars in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
In that, not only is he a great wrestler, because again, if you know Saquon Sugars, you know his history on the independent circuit as well. He was Lucky Ali on the indie scene, and he was phenomenal there as well. But also his look as well. You don't really see people wearing like a bandana over their head. That's not a thing you see in WWE, but he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, aesthetic look, it's a big thing in WWE especially. And if you can stand out in a certain way, then go for it. And that is what Saquon is doing. Osiris wearing, basically he looks almost naked because he wears nothing except the pants. Like
it's the theory. If you wear knee pads and you all of a sudden remove the knee pads from the wrestlers, they look more naked.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
But he stands out again.
End of the day,
he's a massive bloke.
Knee pads on.
He's a massive guy, Osiris Griffin. And you see it in the match here. He's catching people back and forth. Like, people are trying to fly him and they're caught. Because he's just a massive guy. But yeah, Dark State, I've got every single foundation building block that they could need to be a top level faction. And I think if they maintain their current course, they could be there in half a year, maybe a year. And overcome the rest of the factions that are in NXT. As you said, there's the family, there's the culling, there's the NQCC. There's others as well that I can't feel off the top of my head, but they are there. But yeah, so after this we go backstage now with Hank and Tank, the new men's tag team champions. Hank says that there's no one else he'd rather do this with, and then Tank says that these moments are why he puts in the level work that he does. He credits it all to Hank, who he refers to as his brother. It's a nice, simple moment. After this, we go into the fifth match of the night, the penultimate match of the night for the Women's NXT World Championship in a fatal 4-way match. We had Julia, we had Jada Parker, we had Jordan Grace, and we had the champion, Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I don't know about you, but this to me had title defense written all over it. Title of attention, sorry. Even though Julia had just come back, even though they were seemingly building Jada to be a shock win, and Jordan was just there, kind of. Stephanie is just too good. And so with that in mind, Vaquer does actually win. And retains following an SVB on Jada Parker. I believe you started, didn't you? So, yeah, you go first on this one.
Yeah, I thought this was, again, very good match. Very good match. My only thing is, I thought this would have maybe went an extra 5 minutes. I don't know. I just thought, you've got your 3 main women, or main women of your women of a very stacked roster in there, and then you've also got Jada Parker as well. I just thought I honestly thought this match was going to main event. I was kind of surprised it wasn't, but this was still just a very good match, and I thought all 4 women were great. We already know, but both Vaquer, Julia, Jordan Grace, they're all great. And not to discredit Jada, she was also good as well. She had her moments. Obviously, I have a bit more of a different perspective. Obviously, you viewed sort of Jada sort of like, this potential could have been a surprise pick. I just always kind of saw it as only that eat a fall, isn't she? Like, not to say that in a bad way, but it's like, one of these things is not like the other. And that's not me being trying to be disrespectful. I know she's got a lot of potential, but like compared to the other three, she's a couple of levels below.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think at all that's being disrespectful either. I think it's just probably but personal opinions and personal perspectives. And in all honesty, Jada is a level below the three others. Just in terms of wrestling career wise, where they've been in wrestling, their history in wrestling. Like you've got Stephanie Vicker, Julia, Jordan Grace, all have decorated histories in wrestling in their careers all over the world. Jada, I don't think there's outside of America. Maybe Canada.
I'm pretty sure. Is she not just a piece from the PC or
I believe she is. Yeah, I believe she came through the PC classes. Whereas the other three were individual signings from other companies. So Jada is, in my opinion, probably the highest of like the NXT tier of wrestler. Whereas you got the other three who are like independently made wrestlers. So yeah, I mean the match itself, I rated it 4 stars. It was a great 4-way match. Ultimately, Vicker picked up the win. It could have gone any way in my head, really. Her pinning a Parker, though, keeps her encounter with Julia still very much on the table. While Jordan also remains strong for her challenge in the future, whenever that may be. Jada, realistically, was the only one here who was taking the pinfall. Unless she won. But she didn't. And Vicker continues to rule supreme over NXT. In what I'm assuming will be just more fantastic matches, because Vicker is great. So after this, we remain backstage, and we go to Lexus King, who is walking on backstage trying to find a trophy. He's turning over tables, cloths, he's looking around corners, asking people. No one has any idea where his trophy's gone. And that's it. And then we go to the arena car park, where we see Stacks leaving the arena and getting his car while he's in full gear. He has no interest in answering any questions from an interviewer. However, when Luca approaches the car, Stacks says to him that he'll explain everything on Tuesday and tells Luca to keep his phone close. So it seems we get some sort of follow-up on NXT TV. But after that, we go into the main event of the night, the 6th match of the night as well. For the men's NXT World Championship in a triple threat match, we have Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and the champion, Oba Femi. Who would win? The one who rules, the ruler of NXT? Would it be the guy who is the pioneer of that era, or would it be the young OG who's bouncy? Who would it be? And you could easily make a case for any of these three. But the winner, after what was practically a war, was Oba Femi, who wins and retains following a fall from grace powerbomb on Javon Evans. I rated it 4.5 stars. This was my match of the night. Barring the ladder match, this was the match I was looking forward to most as well. And the match damn well delivered on what I had hoped and expected. Oba is a natural beast who never quits, and we saw that multiple times. He was put through a table and still got up almost immediately to prevent the ref from counting. The ref even kicked him back. It's really quite funny.
Yeah, it's very sassy.
Javon is an athletic high flyer who will be a world champion someday in the future. And Trick, well, he's hoping on his way out losing here. All joking aside, though, this was a fantastic match. and that does include Trick's involvement. And these three did put their all into this match to try and outshine whatever we were going to get on Mania Night 1. And with hindsight being a key thing here, I can say that it most likely probably is my favorite match from WrestleMania weekend. And I have no regrets in saying that. I know there was Reigns, Punk, and I know Reigns, Punk, and Rollins was a good match, but I don't think it's better than this.
You don't think Cody Cena was better?
You know, if I speak, I'm in trouble.
Bing, bing, bing.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, but this was. I am in agreement. This was probably my match of the night. The Von Evans is a freak of nature. I do not know how he is some of the things he can do in that ring is incredible. Incredible. And as I said, to only be 20 and he's got all this potential, it's almost not fair how good he is at such a young age.
It should have been me.
It should have been. Oh, it shouldn't have been me. I'm not wanting beef with the ruler. I don't want any beef with him.
Give it time. Give it time.
No. I will pay this man off so I do not have to face him.
the old Drew Carey approach.
Yes. Yeah, this was, as I said, Javon, freak of nature, over Femi. Just when you think he's out, he just clicks, and then all of a sudden he's battering everyone. He's a monster. And then, as you say, Trick Williams, he's been the main guy in NXT for a while. He now seems to be slowly, I wouldn't say getting phased out, but there is the question of what is there left for him to do. They still have yet to do the Obafemi Trick singles match. That's twice now. They've kind of inserted a third person, and second time in a row, that third person's been pinned. So Oba, he's beaten Trick Williams. He's never pinned him. I think there's still, grounds for that eventual singles match, and then we'll likely see after that Trick likely head up to the main roster.
Yeah, I fully agree with that actually as well. Like, he won the title from Trick in a triple threat match, and since then he's not actually fought in one-on-one. And the matches that he has had for the title to defend it have been either multi-man matches or singles matches against someone who's not Trick Williams.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that I think on the cards for the future. However, I wouldn't have Trick win the title. I think Trick, his time is done in NXT for the most part. Like, he's got a couple of things he can do here and there, but for the most part, it's done. Like, Trick needs to move on, and Oba needs to just bury him. But no, Oba is a definitive champion, and he is the definition of definitive. Like, Oba is exactly who you want at the helm of your company, of your show, and Oba is just the perfect candidate for it. Javon Evans will be there in a few years. He's not there just yet. But Oba is the perfect guy for now to be the world champion and to be the guy representing NXT as a whole as well. And like, even if
I dare say he's probably your favorite world champion in WWE, considering Mania results. But yeah, I would just say overall, I thought Stand and Deliver very good show. It was I came in not with a lot of expectations, but it definitely exceeded my expectations of what I was expecting.
Yeah.
You could say when it came to the occasion, they truly did stand and deliver.
Yeah, I'm gone. Goodbye, everyone. No, yeah, I think I agree. As always, NXT deliver on PLE. They almost, yeah, no, they don't miss on PLEs. They don't since even the takeover days. Like they just don't miss on these shows, and even though the roster's always changing because you got stars who are elevating through the ranks and stuff, like the matches are just good. They're always good. They're always good to fantastic, and I look forward to whatever comes because, as I said, these three right here, well, Javon and Oba, are both future stars. Oba, he's already a star. Javon is already a star as well. Javon could easily be like fighting Ricky Saints for North American title. Easily. And then Trick, of course, as well. I think he's destined for the main roster. Trick. And Oba, just selfishly, I want him to be in NXT longer. But in all realism, he is ready for the main roster as well. Over for me. It's just, I don't want him to go just yet. But yeah, Stand Deliver. Great show, I believe, on both our opinions. And with that in mind, we will go forward to NXT TV for the 22nd of April 2025, taking place in the Blue Live Theatre, Las Vegas, Nevada. This would be the NXT After Mania show, I guess, technically. Even though it's not really a thing that people refer to as the NXT After Mania. Again, we get a recap of what happened at Stand and Deliver, and that's it. I'm going into the first match of the night, which would be for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We have the champions, Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, taking on Taya Paxley and Gigi Dolan, with no Shotzi this time around, which I didn't get that. However, the winners of this match would, of course, be Judgment Day. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez win, following an Oblivion on Gigi. I will say as well, I love the synchronicity, like how fluid everything is between Liv and Raquel. Like, Raquel hits the former Tijuana bomb, and then as soon as it happens, she lifts her up, pushes her towards the ropes, and then as Raquel leaves, split second later, Oblivion. Like, Liv ties it perfectly, so that way she gets it as soon as Raquel leaves without hitting Raquel. And it's perfectly done, and I love that so much. I rate it 3 stars. It was a good match. Gigi and Tatum were a solid choice as well, but I can't help but feel that Roxanne and Cora were the better choice to win that 4-way tag match. But this was good though, regardless. And the tag champs are actually retained. So the tag titles need consistency, and hopefully they get that with Liv and Raquel in their 4th reign. I hope that they actually head down to NXT more often though, because there's a more so tag division in NXT that they can use. And even to that note, they've got an agreement, working agreement with TNA. Liv and Raquel could go to TNA to defend the titles. So, head over there, get a few more defenses under the belts, come back to WWE, etc. Good stuff though. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought, solid opener. I thought, Liv and Raquel, they've got very good chemistry. They've been teaming together for a while. They're one of the few consistent tag teams in at least the main roster women's division. As you say, Dolan and Paxley, they were solid options. I think they were solid enough options. You've already kind of... Yeah, I think they're just solid options, and I thought the match was a decent opener. Loved the finish. Was surprised to see no Shotzi. I don't know if maybe she was just maybe she was still recovering from a hangover from Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Absolutely,
You never know. But yeah, yeah, and it's good to see that Liv and Rodriguez are kind of turning into the main deal of the tag division, which is something that division has been that title has been needing for a while, because it usually has been for the most years just we've got nothing for these two, throw them together. There we go.
Yeah, I mean,
so hopefully they had. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, and yeah, like I said, like we've seen a lot of Franken teams, especially with the women's tag title scene, including literally Mania. with Lyra, with Lyra and Becky, like, and I know
it's such a random pairing that they no longer that their tandem lasted all of 24 hours.
Yeah, if that. So yeah, Liv and Raquel are definitely the consistent glue that the title needs, and there's enough women on the roster. Just make some more tag teams, but actually have them stay as tag teams. Don't break them up.
Yeah, just it wasn't one of the contenders freaking Natalia and Maxine Dupree, who had never teamed before.
Yeah, I mean, you could do Natalia and Karen Petrovic in NXT. They've got history as being a tag team.
Yeah, they even competed on Bloodsport together.
Yeah, there's ways to do this that you can, but yeah, NXT I think has more tag teams. Oh, not again. We have, of course, we have NXT tag teams. There's teams in TNA. There's teams now, I guess, in AAA you could use as well. There's a lot of options you have here now that you could branch into. But we'll see what happens, I guess.
Marigold.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So after this, we go backstage. And we're joined by Lexis King, who's a Penn and Teller. Lexis King hasn't been able to find his trophy. So he pleads with Penn and Teller to get him to return the trophy. However, Penn informs him that they've got a couple of conditions first before they return it. Firstly, Lexis needs to admit that magic is real and apologise to Penn and Teller for essentially berating them. And then secondly, he needs to defend the Heritage Cup tonight against a mystery opponent. Lexis agrees to the first condition, and apologises, and he says that magic is real. But he's hesitant on the second condition, but eventually agrees to it. So it looks like we've got a Heritage Cup match to come to as well.
Since when did Penn and Teller have the ability to make matches?
Well, I mean, Teller can't. He can't talk.
But why? How did Penn? Who did they run this by Ava? This is some. Did they run it by? They didn't. They just. It's these little things in wrestling that just annoy me. Like, how are they able to make this match?
Because it's magic.
Don't.
You know what? You know what to say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and they're still in Vegas. So, so after this, we remain backstage. We see a couple of recaps of what the NXT have gone up to over the weekend. We see Charlie Dempsey and Tavian Heights winning their matches at GCW Bloodsport, which is frankly really surprising to see. They don't really tend to reference this sort of stuff, but we see actual footage from Bloodsport. And then it pans over to Miles Bourne and Vince Sinclair, who are watching on the TV backstage. And then Ren asked Miles why he wasn't at Bloodsport. He goes, he wasn't asked to be at Bloodsport, so he wasn't there. Ren is about to say why she's not there, but then she's there interrupted by Dark State. So Quan is first to speak, who's saying that Bourne is not ready for Bloodsport, with Osiris mentioning that he's no fighter like Tavian. Dark State then make a threat that NXT should break up before Dark State make them do it. They do it for them, like they did with the D'Angelo family. Miles suggests a match when the NXT are fully back. However, Javon Evans is around and he overhears us all and offers his back up to Miles. Miles did suggest a 2v2, which Dark State then accept. After this, we go into the ring. It's time for a promo with men's NXT North American champion Ricky Saints, who I wrote as Starks here. Ricky recaps the Stand and Deliver match at Ethan Page. Ricky is talking about how it felt good to take it to Ethan when he's cut off by Lexus King, who is reunited with his trophy. He's been running all over Vegas looking for his Heritage Cup. Ricky has no idea why he's out here, but Lexus says that he has business as he's defending his Heritage Cup tonight. So he threatens Ricky, saying that he may target Ricky's North American title next. Ricky is not intimidated by this whatsoever though, and reminds us that Lexus lost the 4-way the week before Stand and Deliver, so he has no claim to this. He says that Lexus is writing checks his ass can't cash. Lexus then says he hates people like Ricky, and nobody likes Ricky, but they love Lexus. Ricky's a legend in his own mind, who has delusions of grandeur that fill his brain. Lexus then dares Ricky to put his title on the line next week in a one-on-one. Lexus even offers to put on his own Heritage Cup on the line as well, and make it a double champion match. Ricky does not miss a chance to take the piss out of Lexus. However, he agrees to Lexus's terms. So again, Muzza, to your point about Penn and
No, to be fair though, I do remember as I watched this, Ricky at least brought up Ava, saying, "Oh, you probably went to Ava in the back and say that's what I'm at." So at least they brought up Ava, unlike prior segments.
Like, do you think Penn and do it like a Jedi mind trick? It's like, Ava, you'll book this match, and like just put the hand over her head, like.
I mean, they're magicians. Who knows? Magicians seem to have the power to do whatever they want, really.
Like, if you had that power, just every week title match. Ava, I want the world title this week. Ava, I want the North American title this week.
Just overuse it. It's funny though that despite all that, could Penn and Teller use their magic to make Lexus's beard actually look real full?
That is a good point. Could they do that?
I think even magic won't help him.
That is valid. That is very valid. It's a horrible beard. It's horrible. After this, though, we go backstage. Hank and Tank are chilling with Zaruka. All of them celebrating their titles, except Zarya, because Zarya has no titles. In comes Thea Hale, who is excited to do it all over again. In comes Jada Parker, who is maybe suffering from a hangover. She can't deal with Thea's energy. Klein Jordan comes in to agree with Jada, saying that it's not the same locker room that Thea left half a year ago. Then in comes Fatal Influence. Fallon and JC make fun of Thea. However, we do see a bit of tension where Fallon says that JC needs to put Thea in her place. But JC actually bites back, saying that if Fallon has a problem, she needs to be the one to sort it before walking off. Jasmine was there too. In the second match of the night, it is for the NXT Heritage Cup Trophy Championship. I'll pass it over to Muzza to explain what happens here.
Well, it was a mystery opponent, and we don't know who it was. We then hear the Better 4 music. My God, is it Oramentia? Is it Lash Legend? Is it Jakara Jackson? You never know.
It could well be.
No! It turns out it's neither of them. It's the return of Air Zone Noam Dar for Nova 11.
Oh shit!
And the crowd, sound like they don't really care. I need to do the commentators. It's the one noise I have here. It's like it's a bit of a tame reaction considering he's been gone for months.
He's been gone literally an entire year. Like, his last match on TV was against Dijak in 2024 in April.
Dijak isn't even the company anymore.
Like, he's been gone for a year and he comes back.
Even Page was new.
I don't get it. He's been gone for a year. He comes back. The crowd go mild. Like, the commentators.
In fact, I think the crowd. I will say the crowd. I don't think the crowd was good at all this entire show.
No,
they were kind of just.
But even the commentators, it should be on them to really hype this up. Be like, oh my, is that actually Noam? Oh my god, no, Don's back. It's like, and then Vic's like, Booker, it's Noam Dar.
Oh yeah, man.
And then Booker, who normally has the most stupid reactions to stuff, says practically nothing during this. Like, they've got to remove Booker T from commentary, man. Like, Vic and Corey are fine. Booker is not.
You could literally replace Booker with a soundboard of just his famous quotes, and you wouldn't miss anything.
No, literally.
He literally is just a walking soundboard.
Yeah. But
just shucky ducky quack quack. Oh yeah, man. And I hate you, Swerve Strickland. I mean, no.
So yeah, as you said, Noam Dar's back. So the match is Lexus King and Noam Dar, which is won by Noam Dar, who wins following a spinning back elbow. I rated the match 2 stars. It was a 4-minute match to celebrate the return of one of NXT's best wrestlers. It wasn't even a back and forth match. It was really quite definitive, one-sided. No one seemed to really care that Noam was back. The match was lackluster and it weren't treated with the respect and seriousness that it needed. And I genuinely wonder, are they going to scrap the trophy soon? Because everything here just felt so subpar.
There's a guy who has been with WWE for 9 years. You say how long he's been in WWE. His first match his WWE debut during the Cruiserweight Classic, David Cameron was still in office. That's how long it's been. Yeah. He was still in the European Union.
What year was that?
2016.
So I was in my first job.
I was still in school.
In 2016, I would have been 19 years old.
16.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like
it's just so strange. And, like, I see the reason why they keep Noam in NXT, because if there's one thing that I think helps, is that he is a veteran at this point, which is crazy to think he's a veteran at 31.
I think
he won, but like
I think with the UK talents, well, you get a lot of veterans who are young, like in their 30s or like late 20s, because they've been doing it since they were like 12. Like,
yeah. Yeah, like, you know, it's just, like I said, it's strange. It's also very strange considering, I will say, I'm apology. It seemed Lexus King's next in line to challenge Ricky Saints, and all of a sudden, having him getting jobbed out in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's actually building towards like what, how am I supposed to believe Lexus King has a chance against Ricky Saints if he just got battered off a guy who hasn't wrestled in a year?
Yeah. Like, ring rust is also a thing, which is noticeable as well on the Oda. But, like, he won the match very one-sidedly. And, like, you could have had anything. Like, Lexus could have lost because of Ricky Saints coming out to distract him. It's anything. Like, there could have been something. But there was nothing. And I don't understand why this is on TV.
Yeah.
The
only hope I have is that Noam Dar brings back the round system and makes it back to this what it's meant to be, which was a unique mid-card title. That's the only hope it's really got at this point, because if it's not going to do that, may as well just do a unification match.
Yeah, honestly, and I think that's where we're going with it. Against
who? I don't know. It would probably be the North American title. So, you know, Ricky Saints, Noam Dar.
Or the Speed title.
Is the champion? I don't know.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
None of us know.
I know Sol Ruka is the women's one.
On a second.
I don't know who the men's one is though. Last I saw, it was I think Dragon Lee, but I think that was a while ago.
It's still Dragon Lee.
Oh, okay, fine.
161 days.
Jesus. Well, he's due to...
He's actually held it for the same amount of time as Andrade has.
Ah, that's cool. I didn't know Andrade was champion.
Yeah. Yeah, just, you know, change. Just happy for Noam to be back. More of a... I like to hope he'll get... He's a breath of fresh air. Obviously, as I said, my one concern with NXT was the male main event roster. There's a bit of a lack of options for them. I'm at least something a bit fresher, but for now, I think now with him just back, I think it makes sense to put him back in the mid card.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have maybe given him the Heritage Cup again because he's already had it for so long, but I'm not going to complain about hearing a fellow Scotsman winning a title. I'll always be there for that.
That's fair. That is fair. So yeah, after that we go backstage with Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is having an interview where she's questioned about her appearance on Raw, which, for those watching now, that video, our review of Monday Night Raw, mine and Bowman, was released Friday. Was released Friday. So day of recording today, released. So if you want to see the review of that, go check it out. Anyway, she mentions that moment on Raw was supposed to be her moment, not Vaquer's, who stole it from her. She claims that she had no idea Julia had the same idea, but if Vaquer has an issue with it, she needs to sort it. But she won't because she's tired from Stand and Deliver, the press, the media attention, and because she's not the prodigy. But unfortunately for her, Roxanne is the prodigy. So Roxanne pledges to leave Vegas as the 3-time NXT Women's World Champion. Following from that, we get a singles match, the third match of the night. It is Fallon Henley, along with Fatal Influence, taking on Thea Hale. And of course, Thea wins with a submission, the Kimura lock. I rated 1.5 stars. This was about 2 minutes. It got half time the one before it did. I'm not really sure what's going on here, or with Fatal Influence either. They all got cleared out of this match like they were nothing, and then Thea gets the win in what was pretty much a tuna match for her, which sucks because it came at the expense of Fallon Henley. But I guess we got to rebuild up Thea somehow, and that's how they're gonna do it. But in my opinion, way too short a match. It needed more time to actually get anything going.
Yeah, it was weird, especially considering, at least from what I know, Fallon Henley it's kind of meant. She's meant to be the ace of Fatal Influence, like the top one.
I mean,
She was the one with the North American title.
yeah, the one who's like had the most success. I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, like I think if this was either the other two members, I think this would have made a bit more sense with it being short. But yeah, obviously dissension between Rio.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where that goes. But yeah, just the only other thing I've got is Booker T going on a rant about Chase U. Apparently it being a horrible university. I don't know what he's talking about, but
honestly, I don't think he does. To be honest with you.
If I do even listen to what he says, I feel like I just drone him out.
I do that as well, to be honest. I don't really listen to him. I listen to Vic and Corey, and Booker's a bit more just like tune him out. After that though, we go into a in-ring promo with the men's NXT World Champion, Oba. Oba's here and he talks about how he's crushed the dreams and aspirations of both Trick Williams and Javon Evans. He gives Javon his flowers and says that the young OG is a lot better than Oba thought he was, and that Javon will get his time in a few years. However, he cannot stand Trick Williams. Declares that he is better than Trick. True. Cue Trick.
Speaking of the devil.
Trick's here to whine a bit. He moans that Oba finds the easy way out when Trick comes calling. Trick says that he's not some regular Joe. When you think NXT, you think Trick Williams. You don't think Oba. That is not true. Trick is sick of seeing people fumbling and seeing opportunities from him. He's seeing all these bums in the back. And then at this moment, we hear music. Someone's here. Who is it, Muzza?
Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. That's right. It's Joe Hendry, fresh off getting battered by Randy Orton. I had to say it.
That's fair.
It is fair.
In my notes, I wrote he heard his name. Joe Hendry is here. In brackets, bum. Because I couldn't recall when Trick said the name Joe or Hendry, and then I realised he said regular Joe. So I was like Joe Hendry had the name bum. I was like, oh, my cue. But no, the men's TNA World Champion is here. He claims that Trick Williams isn't the same Trick Williams that Joe teamed with back in the fall. Joe recounts his WrestleMania moment with Randy Orton where he got RKO'd. He says that Trick isn't hungry, he's entitled, and a whiny bitch. I'm beginning to come round again on Joe Hendry. Trick says that Joe does not belong here. He's an outsider. And that he got his arse whipped on Sunday, on Sunday's Mania show. And he should go back to where he came from. TNA. Joe agrees that he did lose to Randy, but he lost in front of 60,000 people at Mania, while Trick was in the stands. Joe quickly plugs TNA Rebellion on Sunday, so the day you're watching this is TNA Rebellion, and he has business with Oba. Joe and Oba begin to stare at each other when Trick attempts to separate them, which results in both Joe and Oba whooping Trick. Then Joe and Oba have a proper stare down with their world titles, with Trick on the rampway. It seems we're getting Joe and Femi at some point.
I'm sure Craig is thrilled at the idea of his TNA World Champion picking up another L.
Shout out to Mr McRae, who could not be here, unfortunately. But it's always funny, he misses the shows that have TNA stuff on it.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but whatever. Hopefully he's doing well. What do you think though about Joe Hendry and Oba potentially having a match?
it would definitely, again, as said, it's kind of showing once again that there really is a bit of a lack of main event depth in the male event roster, that we are once again having to go to TNA, which fair enough, you've got the working relationship, you may as well use it. But once again, you're going, it's, well, obviously this will get sorted soon, and I'm not against the match, it is a bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a face-on-face dynamic here. Obviously, the draw of the build will be it's the NXT champion against the TNA champion, which, well, that is if Joe Hendry is still champ post Rebellion, of course. We don't know. Yeah, I think it would be a good match. I like both guys. I still don't really see the benefit TNA get from this, like outside of a brief exposure. I mean, yeah, you get your champion on your screen, but then you're also seeing your champ lose.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird scenario that they're in, and the more they do this sort of stuff, the more I'm thinking that WWE are just going to acquire TNA. Because at this point,
they're kind of treating TNA as the developmental to the developmental.
Yeah, and that's not meant
considering they already have a developmental to the developmental in Evolve.
Yes.
So is it the developmental to the developmental to the developmental? Like,
developmental cube.
Yeah.
It's a very odd scenario because there's a lot of good talent over in TNA that haven't made the jump, or vice versa for NXT to TNA. It just, I don't know. It just feels like they're not treating the partnership seriously between them and TNA, and all they're doing is they're scouting Joe Hendry because they want Joe Hendry. Like, the guy...
I mean, he's now got WWE merch.
Yeah.
And he's not even signed to the company.
The guy has been on NXT. He's been on Royal Rumble. He's been at WrestleMania. Like, there's little that this guy hasn't done already. And he's not even signed to WWE.
Yeah. He's been on the main roster in ring for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is that's me.
Like, I mean, he's taken a spear from Roman Reigns. He's taken an RKO from Randy
Orton. in something that will probably be memed for years to come.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen so many memes already. I'll just the turn around and the Randy Orton RKO. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this, and I can see him just buying TNA outright, because then at least I'll have footage of the archives too, of like AJ Styles. So we'll see, but I'm thinking at some point this year, because they're being a bit more bold with it now, that they're going to try and outright buy TNA, and they probably will succeed in buying TNA. But yeah, after this, we get a vignette with Stacks. We see a picturesque background of mountains on a lonely road. Stacks is waiting in the middle of nowhere when a bright red car turns up. Its driver, Luca Crucifino. Luca questions why Stacks did what he did at Stand and Deliver. Questions a number of times Tony D has helped him, made him underboss. Stacks pledges loyalty to Tony D, and that Stacks needs to make things right. He's then silenced by Stacks. Stacks asks if Luca knows why he's been brought here. Luca looks around, and before he can answer, the vignette cuts. All we hear is a, oh, and then it ends. So, has Luca been, dealt with in the family way?
NXT seems to have a very high body count, it seems.
Mostly
because of the family.
Allegedly, Allegedly.
I mean, was there not another member of NQCC? I forget his name.
Do you mean the family?
Well, there was someone in the family, and then they disappeared. There was someone in NQCC, and then they disappeared.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, there was. Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Or was that Diamond Mine?
It wasn't Dynamite.
Was it
It
Dynamite?
was definitely NQCC. I just think we're both refusing to acknowledge who it is.
Yeah, that's fair. But those are of course 2 dimes as well from the family who, in the real world, jumped ship, which is why he was, found under a bridge. But yeah, so it seems that we're getting some sort of development with the family storyline. Obviously, we go backstage with Zaruka. Sol Ruka is proud to win her North American Championship. Not her speed title, bear in mind. Just, that's not real belt, apparently. When in comes Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who mock Zarya, who hasn't got a title. Someone suggests that they better get out of there before Sol decides that she wants a third title.
She's trying to complete the Ultimate Dragon thing at this point.
The speed title.
I mean, you can win those belts.
Like the
Windows. Title, but we'll head to TNA, win both their belts.
Just win the Knockouts title and then also the tag titles.
Yeah.
Honestly, like let's do it. Let's put all the belts on Sol Ruka. So still backstage, Trick Williams is throwing a hissy fit. He's throwing things around backstage. The feed cuts, but you can hear Ava approach and ask what he's doing. Trick then says he's coming for Oba multiple times, and then Ava throws him out the arena. Cool.
I'm sure you weren't happy with that.
I mean,
that he was throwing out.
I was pleased, but I found it hilarious that he was being a petulant child and throwing things around backstage. Literally. In the 4th match of the night now, we have a tag team match. It is Miles Bourne and Javon Evans with Ren Sinclair taking on a team of Dark State, Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin, along with Cutler James and Saquon Sugars. And Dark State win when Osiris and Dion hit Miles with a double powerbomb. I rate it 3 stars. And finally, we're back to matches again actual time. Once again, we see the Gorilla Unit Dark State pick up another win in good fashion. They may be like Retribution or the Shield, but done correctly. But the important thing is that they're getting wins, and important wins at that too. They're being treated like an actual threat in WWE, and that's the way they should be. Thinking like an undisputed era before the pandemic, and how they were put to begin with. Dark State are well on their way to being a cutthroat faction within WWE. What do you think of the match?
Yeah, decent enough match here. Obviously, it was kind of obvious that the result was never in doubt. You've got this makeshift team here of Javon Evans and Miles Bourne. You do also see halfway through the match, you see the rest of NQCC show up, and after the match, they're not happy with Mr. Bourne. So, the theme of the week with factions that aren't Dark State seem to be dissension.
Dissension.
To influence the family, NQCC,
Retribution.
but the culling are fine. The culling exists.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It seems Dark State are just targeting factions right now, and you know what? Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
After this, we go backstage in Ava's office with her and Sean Spears. Sean has seemingly had some sort of request approved by Ava, but we don't know what that is. Then in comes Yoshiki Inamura. He says that he's going to Noah soon, and he feels bad because he and Briggs were so close to becoming NXT Tag Champions, but they won't get another chance, and he begins to feel sad about it. This prompts Briggs to come in and question Ava to make sure that Yoshiki's okay. And then Ava, out of guilt, I suppose, gives them both a tag title opportunity for next week. She leaves. Briggs asks how did he do that? Inamura reveals he ain't said anymore. It's an old Japanese secret. That goddamn liar. He faked the sadness.
Very, very sneaky, if you will.
Unbelievable.
It's a shame we're no longer getting him on NXT, but
yeah.
I have Noah. I'm a Noah boy. I'm a Noah fan, and I'm a big fan of Yoshiki Inamura. I want him back.
Yeah. No, you can't have him back. He's staying in the NXT now.
Yeah.
But yeah, after this though, we get another vignette from the family. It's Tony D and Adriana Rizzo. Tony D is visiting Rizzo at her hotel room. Neither of them have heard from Luca. Tony understands that he and Starks are going to have to settle the score. Rizzo recounts a time when someone called Big Ange made her cry. And Stacks taught her how to fight. Tony doesn't trust Stacks at the moment, so sit down is out of the question. Tony refuses to put Rizzo at risk, so he's putting Rizzo in a safe house because he can't guarantee Rizzo's safety. This has turn written all over it. Like, I'm not certain on Luca, but Rizzo is 100% turning on Tony. She wants to be involved, and Tony ain't letting her do it. She'll turn because she feels held back by Tony. Whereas Stacks is more gung-ho, do whatever you want. So, I'm calling it now, at the start of this little story, Rizzo is 100% turning. And going to be joining Stacks' side of this battle, I guess. Luca, I don't know.
Well, do we even know if do we know if he is still around? We do not.
We don't. But we do get confirmed that they will be having a confrontation next week on NXT. Tony and Stacks. So, turns out, as I sit down, it is in the question.
Oh, they never said it was sit down, it's confrontation.
Of course, yes. They'll stand at the restaurant.
Yeah.
After this, we go backstage with Ricky Saints. Sarah Schreiber declares that Ricky's match with Nexus is still official, but it's just now for Ricky's North American title. Ricky said that he would defend his title, and he's sticking to his word. And then in comes Ethan Page to distract Ricky, while then Lexus lays him out. Lexus then blames Ricky for losing his title, losing his trophy, even though Ricky was not involved whatsoever in the match.
You could blame Lexus. Those damn magicians.
He could blame them. He could. Ethan says that they'll pick it back up when at another time. After this, we get a vignette. We see a pair of shoes walk in. We see a door open. We see a light go on. At this point, no, nothing's really clear. Then we see a briefcase is being opened. We see a flash of red. And as it becomes clearer, we see the words "Chase You" on a jersey. Then the individual is revealed to be Andre Chase, who says, "We're fucking back, baby. Chase You is coming back." Which then I have to ask, what was the point of Ridge Holland?
Is this the third comeback at this point?
I mean, technically,
second.
Officially it's second, but technically it is the third.
Yeah, because it was killed. It was killed off due to gambling issues, and then Ridge Holland killed it, and now it's back again.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like WWE and NXT, or not, it's made WWE, have this thing where they do one thing, and they're like, actually, no, I didn't like that last time. Let's revert that back to how it was. Like, we saw it earlier with the fucking women's tag titles. Like, we saw Liv and Raquel lose titles to Becky and Lyra. And then we saw on Raw that Liv and Raquel won them back from Becky and Lyra. Like, like it. Can we just stick to something, please? Like, can we stop, like, going, oh, retcon? Yeah, it never happened.
Yeah. It does make me intrigued. Is this perhaps going to be the new incarnation of Chase U? I assume Thea Holds no longer is probably just going to do her own thing.
Yeah, because she's a grown ass woman. Horrible theme.
Yeah. Who else was in Chase U? There was a couple of others anyway.
So before there was Duke Hudson, who's been released now, and there was also Riley Osborne, who is, I believe, in Evolve now. So the team that's been teased as being part of it because they didn't want to help Andre find his mojo again are Uriah Connors and Kel Dixon. Uriah Connors, of course, you might be more familiar as Brogan Finlay.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, and then Kel Dixon.
Happy to see Chase U back. Yeah, it's cool to see Chase U back because it's clear the fans, a lot of the NXT fan base do love them. So it's like, would you kill them?
Yeah.
And you know,
bang.
unless we are bringing them back just for Dark State to kill them again.
Can you imagine?
We're back, Dark State. Bang! Right, you're dead again.
I want there to be like a genuine like university or school building or something that they use, and then Dark State just run down the entire university. Like,
I thought you were gonna say you just want them to actually make it. I want a website. I want a Chase U website.
I want to join the university.
Yeah.
Like,
do they even? I need a Chase U sweater on WWEshop.com.
yeah.
I will buy that.
You can buy it. To be fair, you can buy it.
Excellent.
You can buy the shirt at least. Not I don't know my jersey, but
yeah, I want the sweater and I need the.
Yeah, I do too. But like, you remember how
I just love Chase U. It's one of the things. Even though I don't watch anything, I just love it. I love the. Anytime there's someone been released, you just instantly get them in the Chase U jersey. Yeah,
like Chase U is just so good, and I think it's like one of the few remaining things or entities from NXT 2.0 as well. Like it's been around a while. Like it was killed off, came back, but it's still been there, and people still talk about it. So Chase U has lived on through the fans until now. Well, it's actually back. But yeah. After this, we go into the 5th match of the night and the main event of the show for the NXT Women's World Championship. It's a singles match between the challenger Roxanne Perez and the champion Stephanie Vaquer. In a match that very much felt like a swan song for Roxanne Perez, Stephanie wins and retains via the SVB. I rate it 3 3/4 stars. And I think we're done with Roxanne in NXT. I don't know what else there is for her to do in NXT. If she'd won here, it'd be a different story. But I do genuinely think now with her gone, well, not now she's done with NXT and she can go up to the main roster and mix up with the stars of Raw Down, where she belongs to be. Meanwhile, NXT can be ruled by Vaquer, Julia, Jordan, Jada Parker, like Lola Vice,
Nikita
Lyons, like honestly, like Lash Legend, like there's so many women in that roster that you don't need one figurehead, and now there's more than one figurehead. There's 3 at the very least. Not to mention Zarya as well, Sol Ruka again as well. Like that. there's a lot of women in that roster. Roxanne can move on and be, safe in the knowledge that it's in good hands.
She wishes it was her.
Yeah. But yeah, very good match. I enjoyed it. I just couldn't help but feel the overwhelming sense that Roxanne's gone now. Like this is her last match in NXT.
Yeah, I think she's been she's been jumping up and down from here in main roster. I think the writing is quite clearly on the wall. This was her swan song. And yeah, she in the early days she pretty much carried that division on her back for the most part of the good couple of years. It's now the argument is clear. It is possibly the best women's division. You can give or take. It depends down to personal opinion, but it is absolutely up there. And she was a part of it, and now she gets to move on to the main roster. Whether she goes to Raw or SmackDown is still to be decided. I think you've got options. You can imagine her facing someone like Io Sky and just think, "Yep, there's a match I want to see." But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where she goes from here. She did show up on Raw, as previously mentioned. Maybe Raw is the destination.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, also that we got the teaser with her and Bayley in NXT as well. Like there's been snippets of stuff already to show us what can be reality on the main roster. So yeah, it'll suck to lose Roxanne, but at the same time, I'm proud as well. Like as someone who I've watched for a while, even during the time in Ring of Honor as Roxy, like it was just a good time seeing her wrestle, and she has developed into this amazing wrestler who deserves her spot among the best of the best. To be among the wrestlers holding more titles, the ones that actually are on the mainstream, and you can't get that on NXT. That happens on Raw or on SmackDown. So honestly, her and Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, that would be a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you said already, her and Io Sky, her and Rhea Ripley, her and Bianca Belair, her and Naomi, her and even Jade Cargill. Like honestly, like there's a lot of names on there as well that she can mix it up with. So, it's sad, but it's good as well. So that is the main thing about this. After this, we get a post match as Raquel celebrates. Out comes Julia to stare down Stephanie and just confirm already what we said. The three figureheads of the women's division: Stephanie, Julia, and in the crowd, Jordan Grace, who are all looking.
It doesn't really get noticed by the crowd at all, but we'll ignore that one.
We're in good hands with NXT. Like Roxanne, fantastic, but honestly, your work is done. Like, let other people now run the division because they can do it.
Let them cook.
Let them cook. But yeah, with that in mind, that does bring an end to this episode of Show Squared, to this double review of Stand and Deliver and of NXT TV. Muzza, where can people find you if they want to find you online?
Oh, if you want to find me and my takes, I don't even do that many takes. Yeah, you can find on Twitter. Yeah, look, 44 on Twitter. There we go. I've got it. Got it. And yeah, you can. But also, it's just, I'd say, love being on here anytime I can get my chance. And just, subscribe, hit that notification, hit the bell, or etc. People just repeat it.
I will for you. yeah, if you feel so inclined, I am DpuizY, just there on Twitter or X. The podcast itself is also on social media outlets. So we have Instagram, which is over there. There we go. Facebook, Twitter or X, Twitch, TikTok, and Blue Sky. All under the HCW Show or just HCW Show. On YouTube as well. Please like the video, share the video among your friends and your pets and your grandparents and your rock pets and your minerals and everyone. Please comment on the video as well. Let us know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy about NXT. Are there opinions that you agreed with or disagreed with? Let us know. And yeah, as Muzza said, subscribe, hit notification bell. This Show Squared series comes out every Sunday. There are other things in the works too that are coming. There's indie reviews that are on the way. We've got a new series in the works that I won't reveal just yet, but it is in the works. We've got as well WrestleConnect coming out next Wednesday as well, episode 2 of 2.0, and that I believe is it. I think that is all of it. Yeah. So with that in mind, I have been Dan DpuizY. I've been joined once again by the wonderful Muzza_44, and we'll bid you that one adieu.